Hello, I'm Arthur Holt, pastor of Christ Temple in Beeville, Texas. I hope that you're blessed today as you're watching this video. And I just want to share something. I've been thinking about how God speaks to us in some very peculiar ways. For instance, we read in the 18th chapter of Jeremiah how God spoke to the prophet Jeremiah and said, "Go down to the potter's house." And he went down to the potter's house, and whenever he got there, he watched the potter on his potter's wheel working the clay. And as he was working the clay, the potter made a mistake, or the clay was marred, so to speak. And instead of taking that clay and chunking it and just starting with a new batch of clay, he took that same marred batch of clay and he pressed it down and he began to mold it again. And God took that opportunity to begin to speak to the prophet Jeremiah. And he said, "Look at that clay, how the potter reworked the original clay." He said, "That's the same thing I'm going to do with Israel." And you see, God took one of the most mundane things there was, a potter working the clay, to speak to the prophet Jeremiah. And I believe that God uses peculiar incidents to speak to us as well. We may be brushing our teeth. We may be mowing the grass. And I know you're probably thinking, well, those aren't peculiar instances. Well, the reason why I say God speaks to us in the most peculiar ways, in the most peculiar instances, is because that's not what we expect. We expect God to speak to us through the miraculous. We expect God to speak to us in some supernatural phenomena, but that's not always how the Lord chooses to speak to us. Sometimes he speaks to us in our day-to-day life, just as he spoke to Jeremiah as he was watching the potter work the clay. Or he can speak to you just as you're brushing your teeth or mowing the grass or going about doing your day-to-day life. And I think that oftentimes we miss out on God speaking to us because we're too distracted. And right now you're watching this video probably on social media, and I'm glad that you are, but I feel sometimes that that very medium that we use to communicate with others can be a distraction. How many times are you sitting there and you're bored, and so you just pull out your phone and you start scrolling through Facebook mindlessly, not really doing anything, just scrolling through Facebook or whatever other social media you may prefer. And once again, as I'm glad that you're watching this, and I hope that you share this video with somebody and on social media, whichever platform it is that you're of your choosing. But at the same time, I would encourage you that once you've shared this video with your friends, that you turn off Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat or whatever social media it is that you prefer, and maybe take a break. I'm not saying go on a full hiatus and go without it for a month or a week or even a day, but maybe just for a few hours, and take that time to listen to the Lord. I believe that the Lord is speaking to you. Are you listening? That's the key there. Be blessed and share this video if it's been a blessing to you. I hope you have a wonderful day.